So who is like the crazed war elephant that turns and destroys its allies? This is ancient Indian context when they used to go to fight, with an elephant. And an elephant could be like a really powerful tool in a battle. But if the elephant got scared or freaked out, then it turned and it would harm the person that was riding on it, or turn and harm its own troops. Okay, so who is like that? Yeah, turns and destroys its allies. He who holds negative thoughts and harmful attitudes towards others. Okay, so here's the elephant. You're riding on top of it. It's on your side. You can go really far. Yeah, but if you're like the crazed war elephant, you get freaked out when maybe there's nothing to get freaked out about, and then you throw off your rider, you turn and you trample, the other elephants and the other people that are all on your side. Yeah, we would call it maybe shooting yourself in the foot, something along that line. Okay. So somebody who holds negative thoughts and harmful attitudes towards others. So how is this like the war elephant that turns and destroys its allies? Because, when we really think about it, as we did during the retreat, that sentient beings have been our mothers and fathers, and they've been kind to us in this life and previous lives. Even friends, enemies, strangers, this life, we've received benefit from all of those sentient beings. So if you look at other living beings in this way, they are all our allies, aren't they? None of them are our enemies. Even people who we might say, oh, they harm me, or they were my enemy, or whatever, if we look at the situation from a different perspective, we'll see that they put us in a hard situation, but that hard situation made us grow. And we developed, as a result, qualities and abilities to handle situations and to do things that we would not have had that person not harmed us. Okay. So even looked at it that way, even an enemy can be an ally in the sense of making us grow. Yeah. So when we have negative thoughts about others, what did it say? Negative thoughts. Where did it go? Negative thoughts and harmful attitudes. Okay? So when we hold that against sentient beings, then we're turning against all of our allies who are helping us in one way or another. Okay? Also, when we have negative thoughts and harmful attitudes, we're making ourselves quite miserable. Yeah. Because nobody likes having that kind of way of thinking, and yet sometimes we have these habitual emotional patterns that we just slip into, and then we start going round and around and around. I was reading this morning the notes you took from the last NVC session, where they were talking about anger, shame, guilt, and what was the fourth one? Oh yeah, disconnecting. But those four things were things, that we do quite frequently, but they prevent us from, healing a situation and growing, because we stay stuck in being disconnected or in feeling shame or feeling guilty or being angry. And how important it was to deal with those situations so that we can really heal from something and go on. So how was I relating this? Related. Yes, when we stay in those negative thoughts, and we're spiraling around in them, because those four are ones we get stuck in. And so then we just go round and around and around. Oh, I'm so guilty, I'm so bad, or I'm so shameful, I'm worthless, or I can't stand those people, goodbye, go sulk. Or I'm angry, I need them to apologize, but they never do. So, I mean, those are 4 ways that we go around in circles, isn't it? Yeah. And so, and there are also 4 types of harmful attitudes. They harm ourselves, they harm others. And so through that, we wind up turning on our allies, who are all sentient beings. Yeah. And saying, I'm angry at you, or I can't relate to you because you do blah, 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 blah. And I don't want to speak to you for the rest of my life. Or I'm so unworthy, get away from me. And so it's all our mind that creates all these difficulties between us and other people. You know, it's nothing in the situation. It's our mental responses, the stories we tell ourselves, the emotions we have, and then how we get totally tangled up in these things. Yeah, like a crazed war elephant. You know, and we turn on other sentient beings. Okay. Now, we've all had the flip of this situation. You know, have you ever had the situation where you're trying to be friendly to somebody and you like somebody and then they go, you do this, you do that, you're competing with me, you're getting in my way, you're taking my good qualities, you're taking all the credit for this, you're doing this, you know, and it's somebody that we want to be friends with and they turn on us. Okay. All had that happen, right? Okay. Did we ever consider that maybe sometimes, reverse the situation, we're the one making up the story about somebody who wants to be friends with us, and we're the ones making all those false accusations against the other person? Did it ever occur to us when we're having a problem with somebody that maybe the problem is being made up in our own mind? No, it never occurs. It's always the other person's fault. Yeah? But, you know, if we maybe start challenging things and give somebody else a little bit of credit, you know, and think, you know, if I reach out to this person, you know, there may be some change in the relationship. I'll give you one story. I was visiting a Dharma center one time, and the person at the center who was assisting me, there was that person, and there was another person who I had known for many years, and the person I had known for many years, when I came to the center, completely ignored me, just walked right past, really, literally walked right past, didn't say hello, you know, nothing. And this person had never been very friendly, but there had never been any conflict or a situation between us before, so I didn't understand that. And the person I was staying with, who was, you know, kind of helping me, said, well, she's like that to me too, you know, just cold, but there was no reason for it. So I said to her, let's invite her to lunch. And the other my friend said, uh-huh. I said, no, we're going to invite her to lunch. And we invited her to lunch, and we had a really nice conversation over lunch. And after that, she was talking to me, she was talking to the other person, and everybody was getting along fine. And, you know, and it was really kind of surprising. I mean, all that was needed really was somehow breaking that ice and extending a hand in friendship. What the Tibetans often do, you know, in certain pujas is, you know, when you're talking about interfering forces, you offer them a torma, you know, it's a little gift, something to eat, and you offer to these spirits and whatever, okay? So I had told my friend, I said, we're offering torma, we invite her to lunch. It's the same idea, you know? If there's somebody who the relationship isn't kind of nice with, give them a gift, make some contact, and see what happens. Yeah? And so it actually worked quite well. It was really surprising. You know, the other person wrote me several months later and said, oh, we were just working on something together and it was very smooth. Yeah, so that often works. Okay, instead of dreaming up stories about how mean somebody is to us. If you're having some tension with somebody, if you go in, and your motivation has to be a certain way. Your motivation has to be one of really wanting to see the goodness in the other person. And so if you have that motivation and then you compliment somebody on something or point something out that they did that you really appreciate, but then it really works to kind of soften everything. And you find that afterwards the tension is gone. But if you do that with the sneaky motivation, where it becomes kind of like flattery. I'm going to say something nice and then that person will like me. That of course then they pick up that we're not being sincere and it doesn't work. But when you really have a sincere mind, then it often cuts the uneasiness with someone else. Yeah? So you're referring to the kind of discussion groups we have here at the Abbey, where we ask people to really apply the Dharma to their own lives, and they wind up sharing in a very personal way. And that when that happens, all of the tension of, well, I'm a new person here, and other people all know each other, and do I fit in, and all of that all of that fades away because people are being kind of open and honest. And they're heard, yes. Yes, very important. They're heard. Because often when we go in new situations, it's like, like, are they going to like me? Am I going to fit in? How's it going to be? And we make up all sorts of stories. And some people get over their stories very quickly, and some people stay attached to their stories for a really long time. Yeah. Another situation of how we do what brings the opposite result of what we want, that when we're nervous or shy going into a new situation, it comes across as being aloof or cold. So of course the other people don't come up and talk to us. And then of course we feel left out. Yeah. We all have a need to belong, and some people are more touchy about it than others. And so when you're really sensitive, then you become quite shy. And I have a friend who's very shy. She told me she realized, this is a Dharma friend, that it was actually pride, because she didn't want to say or do something that could possibly be criticized that would exclude her. So she didn't engage very much. But then, of course, she felt excluded because she didn't engage. Yeah. So. Okay.